Welcome, folks, to the April 17th, 2018 Selectmen's Meeting in the Selectmen's Chambers at Town Hall at 272 Main Street in Townsend. I'm calling the meeting to order at this time and ask for a roll call vote.
Sulicio present.
Gordon Clark present. We have a quorum at this time. 1.2, would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, 1.3, I'm going to announce that the meeting is being tape recorded. Is there anyone in the audience at this time that is recording or would like to be recording? Could you just be recognized, please? There is no one else except for Hartley, our Hollywood producer, tonight. Recording. Great. 1.5, Chairman's additions or deletions. We're going to be deleting off the agenda 2.1, 2.2, 3.2, and I've been informed we do not have any meetings, so we'll also add to that 4.3. We're going to add 4.1, and that will be the town administrator updates and various three things on there, and 4.3, updates referencing ethics complaints. I'm going to use, so that we can get through this quickly, I'm going to move 3.1 to after 3.5. So at this time, I would like to start at 3.3 to sign, execute a personnel service contract for the town accountant. Mr. Kryler.
Mr. Chairman, you each have a copy of a contract that's been previously agreed to by the board, which would require a public meeting vote to adopt and execute.
Do we have any questions or a motion for that?
Thank you. So this is based on what we approved, right?
This is exactly what you approved.
Thank you. I have no questions.
Okay, I would entertain a motion, Sue.
I move that the board approve and execute the previously approved personal service contracts for both the town accountant and the town treasurer collector.
Second. All in favor?
I do have one question on the motion.
Sure.
Why wouldn't we do them separately?
I think we were.
I just wrote it that way.
Just so
You
we
can do
have-
them separately if
So-
you like.
Okay, I'd prefer to do it separately.
Absolutely. I think he was just trying to assist.
Yeah,
Okay.
gotcha.
All right, so that's
So,
going to be for just the town accountant.
For the town accountant, please.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let the record show, Ms. Smart, that it's unanimous to execute the personal service contract for the town accountant. Would you like us to sign that at this time, Ms. Smart?
They're both here. Which is which? Oh, there we go.
And, Jim and Carolyn, if you could, if you don't mind, just make this available for Cindy to sign at another time if she wishes. Just one signature, Carolyn? Thank you, Carolyn. Next, we'll go to 3.5 to sign,
Oh, okay.
3.4 to sign, execute personal services contracts for the treasurer collector.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve and execute the previously approved personnel service contract for the treasurer collector.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let the record show it's unanimous. If you would like, Ms. Smart, we'll sign that at this time. Sorry.
That's all right.
We all set?
I should have left it open.
Oh, that's all right. No big deal. Thank you, though.
Mr. Chairman, while you're signing that, just for those in the audience and those at home that might wonder, there are very few positions that are called out in the general laws in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for which you can offer a personal services contract. It used to be limited to just police chief, fire chief, and town administrator or town manager. That was expanded to include town accountant, and most recently with the Municipal Relief Act was extended further for treasurer collector. So while there's been history in the town of having a town accountant contract, there hadn't been one for a treasurer collector, and that's because until very recently it wasn't allowed, but that is now allowed by law.
Thank you for that clarification. Just a quick thing, I'm going to say very few words tonight, but this will be one of the last contracts that, I actually think it is the last contract that I will sign for any municipal employees. And I just want to tell you that these two employees, and it's about these two employees, the town accountant, town treasurer, they should be recognized, and forget the foolishness. But I want to tell you that our town is in a very stable financial condition because of these two people. They have done unbelievable professional work to return us to a great credit rating. We no longer will have to worry about employees not getting out life insurance because the money's missing, or any other calamities. I'm not going to get into that. We now have best practices. These people have restored accountability and done their job, and the record stands for itself, and we're lucky to have them. So I couldn't be more proud. I hope Sue shares that, and I hope Cindy does, that we now, by the day, have some of the most qualified people anywhere. So I thank them for their efforts, and that's the end of that. Thank you. Moving on. Let's see. 3.5, review, approve, sign a 2018 renewal application for a common particular license for McDonald's Restaurant, 20 Main Street, Townsend.
They just keep coming. I move that the board approve and sign a 2018 renewal application for a common victuals license for McDonald's Restaurant, 20 Main Street, Townsend, Mass.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it's unanimous. Thank you. We will now go to 3.1, to review, discuss, sign the special annual town meeting warrant.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
at your last meeting, you voted the articles, so the warrant in its final form is before you in your packets. Additionally, the inside cover now contains the sheet that shows each warrant article by special town meeting and annual town meeting, item description, amount sought, if any, the funding source, if there's any impact above Prop 2.5, and then, most importantly, the select board votes and the FinCom votes. So the warrant before you is set for your vote of final approval and execution.
Thank you. Sue, do you have any discussion, or are you ready for a motion?
Nothing changed since last week? Okay. Mr. Chair, I recommend, sign, discuss, sign, approve and sign, right? I move that the board approve and sign the special and annual town meeting warrants.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Let the record show it's unanimous. Carolyn, do you need us to sign the original now,
Just two.
so that we can post those?
Where did these get posted?
The same place for the fire station?
Yeah, you've
It
got
says it here, I know, but
Memorial Hall, the West Townsend Fire Station, the Police Communications Center, and Middlesex Regional High School, and Harbor Church.
just for people's information.
Be online tomorrow.
Oh, it's going to go online tomorrow, too? Nice.
So the final act to post and have the special town meeting, the annual town meeting, is Selectman Sulizio and my signature. But that's the easiest part of this. Tremendous amount of boards, personnel, chairmans, volunteers, the town administrator, the accountants, treasurers. I see a lot of people recognition. This document, which is people's business, doesn't get done without all your people's work. And a lot of you do it on your volunteer time, so thank you for that, all of you involved. Just two spots, Carol. Thank you again for preparing everything, Carol. Okay. At this point, I believe we're moving on to 4.1, Town Administrators Updates and Reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first would be under 4.1.2, Mass General Laws, Chapter 268A, Section 19, Ethics Disclosure for Police Chief Richard Bailey. The chief has placed before you for your consideration a request for determination under Mass General Law 268A, Section 19. This is the conflict of interest law. The particular matter that he's looking for your consideration on reads as follows. My wife, Kim Craven, owns a private consulting firm, Public Safety Strategies Group, LLC. The group provides services to a multitude of public safety agencies. As a part of the company, a part of the company provides technical consulting services related to public safety radios and dispatch. The Neshoba Valley Regional Dispatch District has requested a proposal from the group through a statewide contract that the group is on to deliver management consulting to public safety agencies. The contract with the group was initiated through the director of the district to a member of the group. I have not had any involvement with the discussions. At this time, there is not a work order or contract in place. If work were to occur, it would be with the towns of Berlin and Bolton. While I have provided consulting services through the group, I am not an owner, nor do I consult on radio projects. This discussion will likely occur in May of 2018. Under the section required participation in the particular matter, the chief writes, at this time, I do not have any involvement in the project or potential contract. I do, as a part of my job, sit on the operations committee of the district. To date, this work has not been discussed at any meeting. Should a conversation ensue, I would not participate, nor will I vote on any such matter. He checks off for consideration that he has a financial interest in the matter, given that his spouse is a principal. And on the second page, he seeks your consideration. And the determination for your consideration under the law is, as appointing authority as required by General Law 268A, Section 19, I have reviewed the particular matter and the financial interest identified above by a municipal employee. I have determined that the financial interest is not so substantial as to be deemed likely to affect the integrity of the service which the municipality may expect from the employee. It will be left to the board to consider that, and if you deemed it appropriate.
I'm going to turn to
vote.
Sue, but just for clarification, because sometimes you could answer our questions before we ask them. I asked you earlier to review the chief's contract, and this is, his activity would be allowable under his contract.
If he were to have activity in this, which
If he did.
he's saying that he's not going to, but if he did, he is allowed outside employment.
Thank you.
Correct. But in this case, he's stating that he would not have any involvement in this project.
Thank you. Sue, do you have any questions? or-
I'm assuming that, may I speak to the chief?
Vice Chair.
I'm assuming that you spoke with ethics and this was their recommendation?
I did not speak with ethics, I saw the conflict and felt that I should bring it forward.
Okay. And Mr. Pradler, I'm not familiar with the determination part of this. I thought that for a 19, if anything came up, you'd just recuse yourself and leave the room.
Now, for a 19, as a member of the board, there is no waiver. So as an elected official, there's no waiver. If there's a
That's
financial
right.
matter, you got to walk away. What this would allow the chief to do is, if you deemed it okay, he could participate in the matter. So there is a waiver for the employees at that level. He needs to get an approval from his appointing authority, which is the select board. He's not seeking your approval to allow him to work. He's just seeking to put you on notice that this is happening. He's not going to participate, and just make certain from an ethics perspective that you recognize that you know that that's going to happen, and you don't deem it's going to affect the integrity of his service.
How could it affect the integrity of his service? You mean as a police chief?
Correct.
Oh, okay, all right. So it has nothing to do with that matter? If this matter comes up, it's recuse yourself and leave the room, right?
Right. He's in whatever you vote tonight, this document governs, and he said that if it comes up, he walks out. He's just going to recuse himself.
And that's been approved by us, is what this is saying?
You're saying that you recognize that that's what he has said to you will occur, and that you're okay and believe that it won't affect the integrity of his service. The fact that his wife has a business that's going to do business with Neshoba, maybe, that there's not, and he's going to walk away from it. then that's not a problem for the town. He's just being
Yeah.
ultra-conservative.
Yeah, I don't see it being a problem with the town. I mean, my only concern would be if it turned out to be a contract that Kim worked on with this, would there be situations where you wouldn't be able to do what you are doing now from an operations standpoint on the board?
And I would defer to the chief for the specifics, but the way he's got it laid out is no, because it's for Bolton and Berlin, not for us. There wouldn't be any direct involvement for us. If, however, it came to the point of Bolton and Berlin get studied, and the determination is that all of the communities need to do X, Y, and Z, that could potentially put the chief in a situation
Yes.
sitting at the table, and he has said that he would then walk away. We have the ability to have either myself or Fire Chief Boynton or Deputy Chief Sartell. We're all authorized to sit at that table. My recommendation would be is if that comes up, that we not have Deputy Chief Sartell sit because he is subordinate to the chief, and there could be a perception that the chief could still have his influence.
I
But instead
agree.
it be either lateral, Chief Boynton, or up the chain that I sit. But only if a matter ever came before the full committee.
And who sits now? Is it just the two of you with the deputy chief as the alternate?
There's an ops board and an admin board. Chiefs of police from each police department have a seat on the ops board. And the town administrators, town heads have a seat on the admin board.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Crowley, do you have any suggestion, actions, or motions, or?
If it's the wish of the board, it can be as reads on the second page, reading as, I move, and then as follows, as appointing official, and as it further reads under the determination block.
I would entertain a motion at this time. Are you looking for the spot?
I'm reading it again,
Oh, okay.
please, just for a
Absolutely.
minute.
Take your time.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Mr. Chair, I move that as appointing officials as required by General Law, Chapter 268A, Section 19, we have reviewed the particular matter and the financial interest identified above by a municipal employee. We have determined that the financial interest is not so substantial as to be deemed likely to affect the integrity of the services which the municipality may expect from the employee.
Second. Motion's been made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it's unanimous.
So I changed the ayes to we.
Mr. Crowley, do you have anything else for us?
Yes, I do. A couple additional things. The next is 4.13, which is ethics complaint.
Cross those out.
Just to make sure I covered all, I'll just read from this document, which will become a public document. When I began my service here in Townsend, I'd been in the profession for more than 25 years. In that period of time, I had not only never been found to have violated the ethics laws of our Commonwealth, but I had never even had an ethics complaint lodged against me in 25 years. In the fewer than 2.5 years that I've been here in Townsend, for some reason, that has changed. I had previously reported that in my short tenure here that there had been 3 individual ethics complaints filed against me with the state. In each of those complaints, after investigation, the Massachusetts Ethics Commission attorneys found no wrongdoing on my part. While I was not surprised, I was bothered nonetheless, having to spend your time and resources responding to the attorneys at the commission. They too had to dedicate their scarce public resources to address these matters. I'm sad to report that in the past several weeks, 2 additional ethics violation complaints have been filed against me with the Massachusetts Ethics Commission. Once again, the complaints have been investigated and have been found to be without any merit. No merit, case is closed. This is not without both the commission and myself having to spend your time and resources once again responding to ill-founded complaints. So I just wanted to make it public that the complaints have been filed. I have a copy of the determination from the commission, and just frame it the way I did, which is, this is extraordinarily unusual. I think anybody that is watching what's going on in town could surmise as to why this happens. My hope, my prayer is that it stops, because there's too much work to do to spend time having to chase shadows like this. And
Thank you.
I wanted to say as much publicly, so if people are in the room or watching from home, have a chance to hear it, they can consider that. And that is public information. Additionally, under miscellaneous update, I do have one matter I wanted to bring to your attention. This is something that was emailed to members of the board just this afternoon by a citizen that I wanted to make certain to be responsive to the citizen, but also, in fairness, responsive to the board and the public, because it's also been publicly disseminated. There was a copy of a letter to the editor written by Jennifer Pettit that was forwarded to me this weekend, and subsequently I've learned it was posted on Facebook. And Ms. Pettit has every right to make herself known on any matter that she chooses. What got my attention was there was a specific paragraph in her writing, it was paragraph 5, in which she made specific allegations about my performance in my public position as relates to a planning board matter involving Mr. John Hussey and Burgess Road. What she stated is factually incorrect. I will judge that she misspoke more than she did so with intent. But I do want to respond to a citizen now who has taken umbrage with the fact that I have responded to clear the record. So the gentleman writes, why is the town administrator responding to a Facebook post regarding Ms. Pettit's experience with John Hussey, political candidate for elected office in Townsend? My response is, let's be clear. I was responding to a stark misrepresentation of a matter of town business made by Ms. Pettit, in which she expressed that some improper act or acts had occurred and specifically cited me as having been a party to it or them. This is what I was responding to, regardless of whatever or whomever may have been further attached to her original writing. Candidly, I do not have a care about Ms. Pettit or Mr. Hussey's politics or relationship with one another, but I do have a care, and more than that, an obligation, to see that the liability to the town when presented is addressed and mitigated against, and that's what I've done here. He then asks, why is the town administrator using my town email server, resources, and the authority of the town administrator position that we've entrusted him with to do this? What concern is it of the town administrator what Jennifer has said about a political candidate? I write, please see my comment above. My writing is a matter of my job responsibility. I would be derelict in my duty to not correct with facts and not opinions material misstatements made that present liability to the town. This is not about politics, it's about the truth. He then further asks, why is he responding to Jennifer Pettit at all? On what authority does he believe it's appropriate for him to correct her statements? Again, see my comments above. And further, it is not only within my authority, but it is my obligation. If what Ms. Pettit wrote was factual or truthful, there would have been no liability to the town present and therefore no need for it to be corrected. He then asks, lastly, why is my town administrator using my town email server and the time and authority entrusted to him to send his response about this to her, to my Board of Selectmen, his assistant, and finally the editor of the Lowell Sun? My response, the town provides me the tools to do my job and I use them accordingly. This is the case here. In response to the gentleman's question about my chosen distribution, I can offer that I sent the facts to the same places that Ms. Pettit sent the misstatements, namely the newspapers. I sent it to the Board of Selectmen, to which I'm responsible, so they would be informed. I copied my assistant, as I do on matters, of course, on all board matters. I had intended to also place it on Facebook, as did Ms. Pettit, but had not yet had a chance to do so. Early this morning, a citizen emailed and asked me for a copy of any relevant information related to the matter, and I now see that she, in fact, posted my email herself. And finally, how the hell and what the hell is a copy of this email sent at 9:30 this morning doing on Facebook? My response, while I was neither a witness nor a party to it, I presume the citizen that requested the information, who was also the citizen under whose account the information was posted, likely posted it on Facebook. Lastly, but equally importantly, if my professional reputation is smeared in the fashion that Ms. Pettit's writing smeared it, writing that I behaved unethically, if not outright illegally in my job, I will respond. And I will use the tools and resources of my job to do so. My ability to be an effective employee depends upon it. If, however, the matter escalated to the point where there was a transition from it being solely a matter of public interest, factual record, and liability, to a more personal interest, suit for defamation, I would at that point use my personal time and resources, as I did most recently with matters stemming from certain school department employees. If there are any additional comments, questions, or concerns, I would encourage you to let me know. I just wanted that to be on the public record.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley. Do you have anything else?
I do. We have been asked to mention Earth Day. Carolyn, do you have something on Earth Day over there?
I didn't print it out, but it's this Saturday.
It's this Saturday. What time?
It starts at 9 to 3. It's a lot of activities,
Hopefully we'll have good weather.
no snow.
I know.
10
10?
o'clock?
Okay. And one last bit of business.
Yes.
After having been more on the negative side of things, unfortunately, something positive. This is Mr. Clark's last meeting. I'm sure everybody in the room knows that. A number of officials you've worked with and employees that have worked for you took the time to jot down a note on this certificate of appreciation, so I just wanted to read something to you.
Can I just say something before you do it? I don't mean to interrupt you. I wasn't even going to be
no,
at this meeting
no,
tonight,
no.
only because we didn't have a quorum, so thank you.
This is a certificate of appreciation whereby we hereby present Gordon N. Clark our sincere appreciation for all you've accomplished on behalf of the town of Townsend. Your leadership and strength to endure in difficult times was noticed and appreciated. And then there's a quote, "The wisest among us, the genuine leaders, smile in the face of adversity. Thank you, Selectman Clark, with wishes for a happy and healthy retirement." And then there are signatures and notes really from a number of folks in town.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to also just say personally, but very publicly, again, I've been at this for a long time, and while it took me a little bit of time to figure out how to read you and how to decipher what it is you say, because you speak Gordy, it's been a pleasure to work with you, to work for you. I hope that you've been able to take away a little bit from being with me, even a fraction of what I've learned working with you. So thank you very much, and I look forward to transitioning from the fact that you're my boss to being able to recognize that I've earned a friend.
Thank you so much.
And that is all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley. You surprised me. Thank you. Sue, do you have anything?
I would like to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I would also like to make a comment about the things that you read earlier. Although I'd prefer to leave this all on a positive note, I just want people to know how I feel. And how I feel is, coincidentally, I posted something on Facebook today. Now, that's not saying much because I only have a few family and friends that I have Facebook friends with, because I shut off almost everybody except real close people. It's a way for me to keep in touch with my cousin in Italy and things like that. But what I posted was, is anybody else as tired of running our government on Facebook and Twitter as I am? How many likes do I get for that? Thank you. I'm tired of it. It's got to stop. It's absolutely got to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is for each one of us to limit the number of conversations we have on Facebook. Okay? It's called cold turkey, guys. You can do it. There are other ways to communicate with people. And the one that I prefer is talking to somebody. You know, the good old-fashioned way, two people talking and understanding, because you see the look on their face and they look you in the eye and they're right there in case you don't understand exactly what they're saying. You can ask them for clarification. You can tell what their tone is. You can tell if they're being sarcastic. You can tell if they're being funny. Okay? Lighten up, really. I mean, we've got to lighten up because you know what? We're not getting the damn thing done that we should be getting done. There's a lot we could be doing, and we're wasting our time and our energy and our souls. I really think this is damaging the souls of people. We need to stop. I can only... Okay, so I want to see next week, week after, slowly get off of it, because it's not doing you any good. You got better things to do with your time. I know I do. Okay, that's it.
Okay, yeah, where are we at now? Updates. So, and here's the truth, and I wasn't planning on being here tonight, but I had to come. Not had to, it's my job, because Cindy's tied up. So we needed a quorum, and we couldn't have a town meeting if I didn't come. So thank you for the kindness to the employees. And contrary to Facebook, I'm not going to have a propaganda statement here. But what I will say is a couple words from my heart, all right? And the first is that to all the wonderful employees that we now have who have demonstrated incredible ethics, work ability, professionalism, and some of you have been abused, and some of you I think have had your civil rights violated, but that's another story. But I want to thank you because right now, quickly to saying, we know where your money is. You people out there, whether you're a senior or a child going to school here, you have a right to know where your money is and that we're spending it efficiently. I believe now, thanks to Governor Baker helping us out with grants, we now know how to do that for you. So it's not about me. All I did was enable good people to do their jobs if I did anything. And also, I sometimes you have to hold people accountable, but majority of the employees now are all-stars. They can work anywhere for a lot more money than make in Townsend and do a great job. So I thank those employees. And I also want to thank all the volunteers on committees and stuff who, for no compensation, but also for, unfortunately, subject to personal attacks, which are just unacceptable in this day and age. I want to thank them for the service. And then on my last meeting here, I want to thank the audience here. It's a full house. And maybe this could be a little video for anyone who's coming to these meetings. Tonight, I've seen nothing but the truth and kindness, not hatred or mistruths. So maybe this is a sign for the future that we can actually now talk to each other nice, not say things to each other that belongs in bars, the worst bars of the worst city in the world. But go back to when I first moved here, that was good to my family, is truth and kindness. So thank you for that. I'm not going. And then, Mr. Crowder, thank you. But if they let you do your work, this town is going to be a shining star, all right? And you don't have a meeting. A manager leads through bad times, and you've had bad times, both for your health, and I can say that, unfortunately, because they've made your health a disgraceful public thing. And you have good health now, and we all pray for you, and we all pray for anyone else's families here. And we hope that your families out there when they're sick are treated better than Mr. Crowther was. And we'll move past that. But I want to thank you for your work. But it's not just about Mr. Crowther. It's about all the other people. I see Chief Bailey. I see the recreation program, which is one of my proudest things, by the way. So I'll get a bad thing about that, but I don't care. Recall me. I know you wish, you almost made the meeting without being rude. Could we finish the rest of the meeting?
Opened yourself up to it.
Could we please move forward, please? All right? Just one try and try to be nice. All right, I'll
I'm
try.
nice most of the time.
Most of the time, we're not here. I know that. Thank you very much for your negativity. Anyway, moving forward in a positive manner. So I was with state officials all day busy. I'm just going to make a quick thing that summarizes it all up. So I took a little nap before I came here, and I had a dream. And the dream, believe it or not, was one of my favorite movies. I love Christmas. My family loves Christmas. And it was the movie about A Wonderful Life. and I was in The Wonderful Life. And I'm on Townsend Common, and in the movie, it's called Bedford Falls, but in my sick little old mind, it was called Townsend. And I was dreaming about how everybody was kind and nice to each other and helping out, and this is my Townsend. But then in my dream, there was a thing about that we were fighting off on truths and evil and all that stuff. And at the end of the dream, to make it quick, is that the horror, the good part of the dream was all the good things I saw in Townsend, like Bedford Falls. But the end of it, the thing that scared me most, I was driving to Townsend, and the sign said in the future, welcome to Miss Truthsville. So I hope that it stays Townsend, the land of love, all right? So I'm done. Well, you couldn't make the rest of the meeting without being nice. I know that. Well, hopefully people recognize that stuff, and we're done. So at this time, I'd like to move on to,
I have one question on budget, please.
on the budget.
Just the budget packet.
Sure.
Is that all set? Did you make those, there was a couple little graph corrections?
Yep, and I added, if you notice in the warrant in your packet, I added the
The
chart that you
graph.
wanted in the,
Good.
yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Just wanted to make sure it's
No,
available.
you know,
for-
that's important stuff, doing people's business, so thank you for paying attention to detail. And I think, due part, you and a lot of the people, Carolyn, and the Finance Committee, is that, and it's also best practices, you know, some of the best minds in the world in the Collins Institute. So we came to a compromise, how it's readable, but it's best practices. So now, we have great bond rating. So anyway, I want to get out of here, so can I please get to it? Thank you, right? All right, 4.4, to review and sign payroll and payable bill warrants out of session.
I move that that we review and sign the payroll and bills payable warrants out of session.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
I will gladly take a motion to adjourn at 6:39, please.
I move that the board adjourn at 6:39.
Second, motion's been made and moved to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
We're now in German. Harley, for the
Thank you.
last time, you're one of the things that make me happy. I don't care if anyone likes it. Thank you for being here every week. Have a great life. All right, bye now.